Alright, everyone, welcome back to Oceanic Sacrificial League, our final week of the group stages, where we'll be seeing Bleedout and Clown Crew, sorry, a bit of a tongue twister there, fight it out in the best of three, of course, just as usual. And best of three is actually a bit more of an exotic one. It's going to be Dredge, Cannibal, and Clown, which is Dredge pick from Clown Crew and Cannibal from Bleedout, which I believe actually Bleedout's trying to be getting these Cannibal sets, and I think JD kind of enjoys playing that killer, but anyway, Dredge is up first, kind of jumping the gun here, the proverbial one, of course, as we do load in. And I believe, yeah, Clown Crew did get like a 4K1 versus the one of the best performing teams here of the current tournament, which is Gospel. So I think they're looking for something pretty good here, Gohan, as we do see Fushi load in with a very, very aggressive build.
Yeah, we do indeed. We do see him load in and have a very build that is very heavily favored to the aggression side of things because we don't want the game to be slow, but it looks like the survivors are playing quite slow, able to stop the first tag from happening so quickly. But unfortunately, it isn't just quite enough because he did get that aura reading off of thanks to Killer Instinct. So he is going to try and get as much as he can. But unfortunately, he is going to find the first survivor, and it is going to be JD, our resident killer player for Bleedout. But no, he's going to instantly leave and try and find someone else, rather. But he does see the Killer Instinct above, and I do believe I saw a little bit of a cheeky survivor. Yes, and it was 6 hearts as well. 6 hearts being caught off guard a little bit, but unfortunately, that is the Ruin gone as well, which is quite unfortunate, but we do see Hearts is running over towards the top side of the map still. Probably going to be jumping down here, maybe even not, but no, we do see him instantly come out of the locker and get the tag as well. Very well played to shift a quick tag, but unfortunately, Hearts isn't able to get much anywhere else because unfortunately he's going to go down straight after, and 2 down he goes. He is getting down here at bottom. I believe this is bottom. Where is this? I don't know. This map is confusing for me. Anyway, he is going to go down on the infirmary room that I'm going to call it. Okay, no, it's 5. Okay. I like to just call them by the room names, but yeah, it's bottom 5. Okay, so we do see that Jazz is going to be working on a generator as well on top 5 as well. So hopefully he's going to be able to do some progress as well. Oh no, that's top 1. Damn, this map is confusing. Anyway, Tavi, would you like to take over while I try and refresh my brain on this fucking map?
Yeah, don't worry, Gohan. I'm kind of confused as well. I keep on mucking up my comments, especially upstairs on this map. But you do see JD in this four corridor here. I'm just gonna call it the west corridor. Actually, sorry, that's the east corridor, right? Yeah, east corridor. And Fushi's just happy to just camp this out and try and secure this setup here. The ruin's already gone, so you're kind of back down to only Eruption and the Pain Res, which I think is a very interesting pick. But Fushi actually manages to catch out the unhook, gets a tag onto a healthy forward, and continues to tunnel onto Hearts. Of course, that's what you want to be doing on the Dredge. And Heart, I don't think he makes anything safe here. I think he's just going to be going down. This pallet's a little bit too far, and Fushi knows it too. Heart should have just gone towards that 5 filler instead and dropped it safely. So that's just a really early second down in, coming in here for Fushi, and that's not even a gen popping in the distance either. So they have to reset that sloppy tag onto JD. I think they have to anyway. Maybe not now, but they will have to eventually, and that's just free pressure for Fushi. Can push Jazz off this Gen 2 playing this dangerous Jake outfit, and he does get the stun through the pallet, but I don't think that's what Fushi really cares about. He just wanted the Eruption timer to run out to kick the Gen with Eruption. Of course, Eruption has that 30-second cooldown or something after it does proc, and you do down someone with the Eruption. You have to wait 30 seconds until Eruption can be reapplied onto a generator, but yeah, again, gets the pallet out of the way as well, and just returns to the hook, tries to secure this tunnel out, and I feel like Bleedout, they have to pop 2 gens here. They can't really afford to leave too many remaining in the trial for Fushi to defend, because if they do, then we're looking like another fairly high 4K result just at a first glance. But yeah, Dredge sets, I think this season they've been very varying. I think they've all been 4Ks though, but like we've had that one 27-minute Dredge game go hard. That was great, and we also had some other varying times of Dredge too.
Yeah, we've had some very interesting Dredge games in the past, especially with I believe it was on Friday we had Cat Jam versus Sanity, and Sir Smonk was absolutely just bowling, and able to get, I believe it was a 4K3, I believe it was. But we do see Hearts going down. Unfortunately, that is quite an early down. At four gens remaining, not ideal, but we do have then Duck instantly on a hook as well, which is not ideal for the team of Bleedout, and we do come back to this gen. This gen is dangerously close, but we do see Eruption have to proc a little bit more on it. And we do see that we have the next Killer Instinct as well, as he is going to be running up towards the 11 side of the map. So he's going to try and do as much as he can here. We do see another gen kick as well. That gen is getting dangerously close to, two gens being dangerously close to not being able to kick anymore. But we do make it to this God Filler at 11. But no, we are having none of it, and we're going to go straight back towards the top 5 area, and we do find Jazz. Jazz, I believe, is the only one that is actually on the better side of the ping spectrum, because I believe they are an SEA player, so at least it makes it a bit easier for Jazz compared to the likes of JD, Duck, and Hearts, because they're all from OCE. So luckily, Jazz is probably going to be their, not so their carry, but going to be like their more reliable survivor. But Fushi is going to be walking into a generator instead of walking to the next room. But unfortunately, he is able to cut off Jazz here. So we are going to be running down towards the bottom 5 area. Unfortunately, we do get a tag. Sloppy Butcher now active on Jazz. We do see the reset happen onto JD. And honestly, with this current situation, Fushi is kind of in the driver's seat right now.
Yeah, he's looking pretty. They're looking pretty. Sorry, I keep on saying he. I don't know why I default to that. I should really stop. But yeah, Fushi's looking like a powerhouse currently in this dredge set. I mean, there are those 2 gens with high progress, but Eruption is, I believe, applied to one of them. And Jazz having a nice little chase here, managed to run out the rest of the Nightfall and also a good amount of time afterwards as he dies on the pallet and gives away potentially a Pain Res, which I do have to point out. Pain Res has been kind of coming in clutch for Fushi this trial, I would say, because most of the time, as we know on Midwich, like you bring in Pain Res, it's like a gamble whether you get it on this map. But they have kind of won a couple of the gambles. I think missed one on JD previously, but yeah, managed to get one on Hearts before he died, and that's just gonna be free regression coming in. But JD's gonna get actually spotted out in this courtyard. Takes the next chase here. I don't think he has any strong exhaustion. I believe saw someone else have this spin burst, so he just takes a tag here. Not really much he can do here on this library side of the map, and it's just gonna bring Fushi slowly towards that Nightfall again, which is around 75%. Wow, that's very fast charge, and it's kind of faster than I expected, Gohan, because I believe Fushi has opted to bring the Broken Doll and not the Malthinker Skull, which I think is again very interesting choice, because Nightfall is the very it's the very decisive mode, I think, of this set. And oh, I'll leave that nice spin burst there. But yeah, Broken. I mean, obviously you're bringing Phil the Quarter with exhaustions being allowed, but I'm fairly surprised that Malthinker Skull was not picked, because I think like every single other dredge has picked it, but I could be wrong. But JD gets found here in Nightfall. He still has this God Palette, I think, so should be fairly safe. But after the God Palette, what does he have is a question.
He honestly doesn't have much to work with, but he is going to continue working around this top side of or this 12th side of the map. Unfortunately, he's going to be able to make it to the God Filler at 11, going to be dropping it as well. JD is going to be able to run all the way up to the top area, and unfortunately, Fushi doesn't have a teleport instantly up towards that top area that he would like, but he is going to continue going over. He is now at 9, running over towards the 8th side of the map, but unfortunately, JD is going to run into the loving embrace of Fushi.
Yeah, and that's just gonna be the second down, potential third Pain Res. I was gonna say second hook, second Pain Res, hook. Oh no, actually JD hasn't been hooked before. All right, I was speaking through wrong assumptions there, but yeah, Fushi's running out of kicks now, and that's not really a great sign. Those jets pretty much have to pop at this point in time. Even though this down is fairly early, like there's nothing you can do about that 8 kick block that comes in after I think one of the Skull Merchant, some of the Skull Merchant pub players started complaining. But anyway, LV Duck's gonna take the next chase here. I believe he did have Spin Burst, so no light to work with, and he's gonna go down in the corridor as this.
Oh, and there is the Sprint Burst you were talking about.
Oh, he 99'd it. He 99'd it, and I didn't even realize. So that's again a beautiful play from Duck, just to secure, Fushi's overcommitment. Now it's not in Nightfall, so that was actually a really big getaway from Duck, and they can still definitely pull this back into like 4K2 territory thanks to those regression events, but they still need to put in work. They can't really afford to slip up here because Fushi's getting those sloppy tags, and you can't afford to just be injured in Nightfall against the Dredge.
Yeah, because as we just see earlier, JD did get absolutely bamboozled during the Nightfall as well. So that is just proving that, yeah, it can be quite of an issue. But we do see the next gen pop as well. I believe that is all the way on top 11 or top 12, sorry. So we are going to see the chase happening on to, I believe this is Jazz yet again. Yeah, Jazz is going to be the next one in chase. So it is going to be quite interesting to see what he can do here. He is going to be running over towards this top 11 side or bottom 11 side, and unfortunately going to be hitting through that pallet. Unfortunately, even though Jazz is on pretty much the same ping as Frishy, he is still going to get hit through that. Quite unfortunate indeed, but LV Duck and JD are absolutely working those generators.
Yeah, they're working the gens and they're trying to baiting Fushi into going for this. So I think they might be able to secure 4K1 here, which is a fairly good performance considering that really early death there for gens. So despite that, I guess they had enough pressure and Fushi ran out of kicks to stop the gens from popping. As actually Jazz gets picked up in the background. I thought JD, sorry, not JD, I thought Duck would go commit for the generator, but it seems like they're playing for more here, Gohan. They might actually be looking for outs, which I think will be a first time seeing outs against the Dredge. I mean, it's still really, really hard, don't get me wrong, but they still have a chance to go for it. JD doesn't make his pallet, so he goes down, but that gen definitely pops in the background. We might see another one.
Yeah, indeed, we do. Might see. We're probably going to be seeing a double up on that generator, actually, if all honesty. But no, we do see only the solo El Bolo on it, being LV Duck, but we do have the chase happening onto Jazz as well, so not looking too good. He is going to be able to make it, and we do see the Gen Pop as well in the distance, so it is going to be ideal for them. They are going to be doing as much as they can. JD is going to be slow for a bit longer, but unfortunately, Jazz not going to be able to get the hit through the pallet, but he is going to be able to get the stun. Lovely work from Jazz here. Unfortunately, this is going to be a locker, so it's going to be a bit more harder for Fushi to be able to get that down. Trying to swing through the pallet yet again, but unfortunately not being able to connect it. Just that little bit too far away from the distance to get it. So Jazz is going to be able to make that distance and get away, going over towards this music room area. And this pallet, oh, this is not a good pallet, especially if you're versing the killer. So, but we do get the stun. But now we're in a bit of a pickle. He can't really do much unless he can just absolutely juice on this pallet. But unfortunately, no. Fushi is going to call the bluff, and he's going to get the down on to Jazz. This is not looking too good, too hot for Fushi. He is going to choose to finally pick up. Thank you, Fushi, because the slug action wasn't doing too hot for you.
Yeah, the slug. I think they were trying to they were trying to they were trying to snowball into multiple downs and then try and pick out the last survivor. Of course, LV Duck is the only one left in the trial. But Jazz went on that beautiful chase, got the stun through that 12 up chemistry room pallet, and then also smashed it away to the second one. Gets a stun on that, buys enough time for double reset to come through, and still gives hope for Bleedout to take away potential of the fifth generator for this first set, which I think again would be an incredible performance, considering that we've seen nothing but 4Ks this season on Dredge. So Fushi just teleporting around, tries to cut off maybe a survivor from this unhook, but they're already here. Duck is here with the spin burst. I don't know if it's active or not, if it's 99, but Fushi also goes for a greedy swing there. Not really sure why they did, because the endurance is still on. So it's just more and more time for our survivors, and Jazz just uses this pallet, drops it away, gives it to the killer. A bit of wood won't hurt stopping the Dredge, surely. And Jazz still has a good amount of stuff to play out potentially, as he does head towards this 7-down pallet, which does exist, but it's not really the best. So kind of opts away, has a window here. So it's, yeah, still a lot of time bought for our survivor side here. And Fushi might start worrying a little bit whether this is a bit of an overcommit. Jazz really needs to get, I think he has smashed it, so if he does get to smash it here, I think that might actually force that last gen to pop, and Fushi's playing this patiently, but Jazz playing, he gets hit around that, so hits it down, and it's gonna be close. This last gen surely has to be close to being done at this point. Yeah, look at that.
Oh, that is quite a good amount of progress. Jazz is going to be hooked as well. I don't believe that is a pain res hook as well. Yeah, he's still only got 2, so it isn't going to be a pain res hook. But unfortunately, Fushi has gone to the wrong joint. He's supposed to be at top 2, but he's gone all the way over to the opposite side of the map. This is not ideal, and they do manage to pop it. We might actually be able to see at least one out here, but we do see LV Duck is going to be hit through that sprint burst, so that is going to be looking quite grim. But we might at least be able to confirm at least one hit here, or at least one down, so we might be able to see at least only 2 stages out of the board. But no, he is actually gone for JD as well, and he's also someone we want to be downing early. But No, we are actually opted to go all the way to the opposite side. We're going to try and figure out what's going on with this door here as well. Because if they can either get out of one, they're going to not be able to survive through the other one. But unfortunately, there is no aura. But we do find someone here in the courtyard. It's LV Duck again. This is looking kind of grim indeed. But we do see the down happen now. He just has to find Fushi. We might be able to see a 4K zero here. And it looks like we do because JD has been spotted all the way here at bottom 12. We are going to be running over towards bottom 3 now as well. There is a window here, so we can at least survive for that a little bit longer, but we do get hit through the window. We are going to get a fast fault as well. But Fushi is still hot on his tail, and this is going to be our last chase of this game.
The last chase, and it's still looking pretty alright for JD. He has this one pallet here on 12, but actually decides to play Courtyard, and this pretty much secures 4K0 for Fushi. But I think this Dredge set has gone in favor of Bleedout because I feel like Clan School picking this set. I know that they've been fairly active on Dredge since that one Gospel game. I've heard a little bit of whispers, or maybe some spies from the shadows that they did try and pick up their game on certain killers, and Dredge, I guess, is one of them. But yeah, 4K0 definitely the best performance thus far in the season against Dredge, and that does set a bit of a task ahead of sorry, not Bleed, Clown Crew survivors, to try and get this 4K0 Tycon, because yeah, Fushi kind of like dropped the ball, I think, a little bit later into this game, and allowed those additional gens to pop, which was looking impossible with that death and 4 gens. But oh my god, he held the remnant. That's a beautiful mind game from JD to get this. Sorry, from Fushi to get the final down. But like, nevertheless, again, 4K0, impressive stuff from our survivor side of Bleedout, and really unexpected.
Yeah, indeed it is. So there's going to be a win con of 4K1 for Bleedouts to be able to get that win. JD is probably going to be on the one on Killer because I don't think I've seen anyone else really play Killer on their side other than Six Hearts playing that Houndmaster set. I believe that was, I can't remember exactly what game that was, but we do see that
Oh,
Duck
I
is going to be
remember.
also hooked as well. But we will be back after a short intermission where we'll probably be bringing in JD's Killer. One win con. Okay. I don't know if we're live or not, so I'm just going to start talking, I guess. But we are back with the Dredge set. We have a 4K1 win con situation for the killer of JD, having to try his hardest to get a 4K1, which is going to be quite a tall task. But we have seen a lot of 4Ks with Dredge. We didn't really, unfortunately, we didn't see any outs because Fushi was able to secure those downs just in time. So luckily, we were able to continue on. But we are just going to have to try our best. JD is our resident killer main for the side of Bleedout. So we have Fushi, Taka, Crazy F, and Chikahime. So we're going to see what they can do instantly. We're going to be seeing JD have pretty much the exact same build. Maybe he can keep his ruin up for a little bit longer, but with where I just saw it, I don't think that's going to be possible. But we do break the what some people like to call McDonald's drive-through area, but we do see the first chase onto Chikahime. He is going to be going over towards 2 and going to have to try their best to absolutely juice this chase, but unfortunately going to be getting hit through the pallet on top of 2. Going to be running over towards that 3 side, and I believe this is a kind of a blunder, and it is indeed a blunder, but Ruin is gone. This is pretty much the exact same situation as what Fushi had at the start of his game.
Yeah, exactly, Gohan. It's a really early first down coming through. Chiakihime, unfortunately, I should just say Chia. She unfortunately dropped the pallet like a bit too late from ping, and yeah, just JD gets an easy 2-tap and zone from
Oh,
that. And actually, we're gonna get a sloppy tag onto Crazy F. Unfortunate check spot there. I think I saw a video fairly recently. It's called Guest Spots. I love that video, but anyway, Crazy F losing that guest spot, and just has to play this bathroom 7 filler. I think goes down here. Good patience by JD. Actually, he didn't even teleport to the remnant after seeing the vault. Just timed that just on the nick of time to get that grab, and that's just 2 downs here. You're saying that it's a bit of a tall order to try and get a 4K1, right, Gohan, and then suddenly we have 2 survivors down within like the first minute and a half of the trial. So JD is looking really strong here in this stretch set. Taka gets a nice stun though. A bit of a morale boost, I think. Plus 10 wood to the forehead, or rather the Dredge doesn't have a forehead, so plus 10 wood to the whatever body part it is. But yeah, JD's still looking really strong here despite um this nice little chase from Taka. Actually, might decide to camp this out though, because he said there's a few gens within reach of this hook. So I'm fairly curious as to why JD doesn't like bringing the eruption. Gohan, I have noticed that over JD's like dredge sets, he doesn't bring eruption, and I feel like eruption's like the best perk on dredge. So I don't think Surge is a good replacement, honestly, but he might make it work here.
Yeah, and honestly, he is kind of like just going with the motion. He is just with like a well-oiled machine right now. He is just absolutely blitzing through these stages, instantly getting 2 stages on the board compared to Fushi having to be a little bit of a struggle. But to be fair, Hearts did die on the hook, so that was kind of rough for them, but they were able to bring it back. So luckily, we are going to be seeing 11 God palette being dropped here. So we are going to be continuing on the chase here. We're going to be trying to do our best to get that dub. Unfortunately, we're not going to be going over towards the fabled third story bait, but no, Crazy AF is going to be doing as much as he can here. He's going to be playing around this palette at 9. He's going to try to do his best, but we do see both sides are absolutely gaming here. They are just not getting down, but unfortunately, Crazy F is going to finally lose the mind game here. But we do see that second hook is going to be happening onto Crazy F, or I believe this is actually his death, so that is quite rough. Death at pretty much the same amount of same game state, but we do see it was not actually a death hook. I am lying. I am looking at the sheets and I saw that it was tipped, so I thought he was already there, but nope. We do see that Taka is going to get the tag as well, and we did see that someone was actually just running right past the unhook as well. Maybe probably a better idea to just not unhook there, because that would have been probably a trade more so than not. But we do see, I believe this is Fushi, if I can see it right. No, I believe it's actually Chikahime there instead. Yep, it is indeed. So we are going to see the tag happen. Unfortunately, going to be running into the wall because of the speed. Unfortunately, that is probably going to be converted into a down, especially with this palette in mind. But no, we run back down towards the 11 God palette, but it's already been dropped. So we are going to be going down. Crazy AF is on the chopping block here. We have to see what he can do. Unfortunately, he is going to be able to at least get closer, but no one is there for the save. Okay, I don't know where Tavi is gone, but I'm just going to keep going then. So we do see Taka is going to be able to do that gen all the way at top 1 area. So he is going to be able to get that library gen done and dusted. Fushi is going to be the next in line. He is going to have to get the pallet, and he does. He makes this pallet sign. He does have sprint. He does smash it. He's able to keep on running over. But JD is actually going to vault or teleport to the top side instead. That is a very interesting choice. Maybe trying to catch Fushi off guard, but unfortunately Fushi is just bowling and he's just running away, running for the distance, but unfortunately he has found his next target, being Taka here at 11, going to be hit over the pallet, which is very unfortunate indeed. We do see a loud noise notification, maybe a missed skill check on a healing, maybe a gen, who knows, maybe even a vault, but we will never know because we are watching Taka. But we do see that Fushi is gonna be here along with Chikahime. We're gonna be at 8, heading over towards 9, probably gonna be resetting here, but both those lockers are open, so that could spell bad news berries, and he is quite close to them, and he has found them indeed. So it looks like we might be seeing a 4K3 here, Tavi.
Oh my. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I've returned to. My laptop just crashed, but we're looking like yeah, as you were saying, 4K3. Suddenly, somehow Clanku just JD just somehow found them all and just escalated so much pressure, I guess. And here we are with sloppy butcher injury and a down in the hook. So I feel like this is kind of just a wraps here. I don't really see Clan Ku coming back from this, especially when Chikyume is found here on this little courtyard. So that's going to secure a 4K3. An insane performance here, I think, from JD. We did see Smunk get a 4K3. So yeah, Bleedout's fairly dangerous on Dredge, it seems, and maybe if you're ever going up against Bleedout in the future, maybe reconsider picking a Dredge set, because this is a very convincing victory over Clown Crew here on Midwich. But yeah, they've taken the set pick of Clown Crew now, and Bleedout have Cannibal to go towards in the next set. So Um, JD's Cannibal. I I remember scribbling that a bit ago, and there was pretty scary 4K ones going around on Dead Dog. So maybe he's looking to do the same thing against Kanku. Maybe he's also farming, the clips like I like to do on Bubba. Maybe he wants to farm a couple of Flick Bubba clips here, especially this 5-zone ping, so it's a bit easier to go for the Flick plays. So um, I'm not sure though, but what is for sure is that JD is going to be playing the Cannibal, the Bubba Soya, in the next trial. So we'll go to a quick intermission as we get that match set up for you. So don't go anywhere.
All right, hello, everybody out there, girls and boys of every age. We are here with a Cannibal on the DDS, aka Dead Dog Saloon. We have JD as the killer. We have Taka, Fushi, Crazy, and Chikahime. We have Jake, Nia, Tori, and Ada still. They're still rocking their own survivors, so we are going to be loading in. And honestly, with how DDS can be played, it's going to be quite rough because Oy, ay, ay, ay. The 3-gen options are immaculate, especially on that backside of the map. But we do have JD is going to be spawning here at the water tower at 5. We do have our gens that are being corrupted. We have very interesting gens, but we do have a nice 3-gen here, I believe, at this backyard area. But no, we don't think we do. I gotta wait until JD turns around to look at that area because I cannot see over there because he is not looking there. Anyway, we are going to be waiting to see what happens here. We are just going to be trying to find out our first chase. Going to be opening up all of main here because we want to be able to get as much progress into this trial as we can. And I do know that Tavi is back, so welcome back, Tavi. What do you think like so far with how he's been doing? He's just opened up all the main and he's found his first chase.
He's found his first chase here, does try and go for the flick around this, but our survivor's playing very safe. Oh no, gets hit through the trap pallet, and this is the worst possible start here. We have a nightmare start on a Bubba set, which is, again, another pun that I like to put in there. But look at this. Basement hook coming in for JD here in the 3-gen in Gallows. Oh my, this is already going to be a very, very dynamic Bubba set here. Or should I say dynamic rather than, rather I should say, dynamic camping around the basement as JD does try and renovate a little bit more around. Contestant on the block, I believe. But anyway, yeah, early basement hook in this 3/4-gen area, which I just noticed, yeah, could be a 4-gen. Actually finds Survivor around here, gets this water tower pallet out of the way. I'm actually commit for the down, so JD, again, kind of maybe showing off why they didn't want to take this chase around. But he gets a bit of lag, I think.
Yeah,
So,
a little bit of a,
yeah, that's not the
little bit of a
down.
lag spike. A little bit of a interesting lag spike, but it's fine. It's fine. We're still on the board. We're still playing. We are still active as well, but we are going to be trying our best to see what we can do here. We are just going to be trying to find our next chase, and we do find it all the way here at 7, but we do not commit to it. Fushi is still at basement, and this is looking kind of grim for the team, especially with so little resources now around on the map. We are going to be trying our best to do as much as we can here, but we do see our next chase, and it's going to be Taka here, all the way here at 9, but we do some little fandangle crap and shit, and he's going to get the pallet. Wait, no, he hits the pallet and still gets the stun. That is R.I.P. Taka. We're gonna go straight back to basement though. We might see someone coming in, and we do, but they're not gonna be able to get anywhere because he is already at the shack.
Oh my god, JD's got everything just went right with that interaction, and that's I guess another reason why you want to pick Bubba on pink. Gets a flick on the 7, the deep 7 filler, and that's also, by the way, that's a double flick going into the tantrum tech because I believe Taka hugged the loop too tightly, so that the chainsaw managed to just kind of peek through that little bit there and get the down with this basement hook. It kind of seems already over, looking like 4K territory coming in for Clown Crew, but JD is still looking for more. Gets a little bit of flicky like that here onto Crazy Air, but kind of dropped a little bit of the game there, a little bit of overcommit coming in, and now a survivor gets out of the basement. So usually most of the time the survivor's in basement against Bubba, but you're not getting out of the basement. But this time we do manage to kind of get away, but not far enough. That's very unfortunate for our survivors, and that's kills coming in. New world record, guys. 5 generators. Everyone out there, 5 gens is what JD is looking for, and that's a beautiful, beautiful start here. Which honestly, I should say, I said start there, but Honestly, this might just end the trial because oh damn, Kanku have one rocky road ahead of them.
Yeah, indeed they do, but we do see the chase happening onto Crazy F, and he is going to be trying to do his best here around this tile, and it's a
Yes.
really good tile, but unfortunately JD is able to moonwalk and get the down. JD is absolutely showing why they have picked Cannibal as their killer, aka Booba, as people like to call him, but he is going to get his next hook all the way here at 12. This is looking very, very grim for the side of Clown Crew. And we found our next
Oh
chase.
my god.
Oh no, this is not good.
It's not good, and Ada does not have a pallet. She is going down. This is so many free downs coming from JD as Chia did not make the locker. Now forces an early unhook coming in on survivors, and JD has 2 injuries, so it doesn't even have to go for a chainsaw at this point. But decides to renovate main. I think for the last time this trial tries to cut off a survivor here, but they made a good amount of distance. So survivor's definitely not out of it yet. They could pop a couple of gens if they are really on top of their game, but. Oh my god, JD is not playing around here. Forces a pre-drop as well from Taka. Oh, actually, oh, really good patience. Really, the flick again onto Taka, just going around. Good patience again from JD, but honestly, like this is the problem with ping sets Cannibal because it's just everything is so much more unsafe against a killer who decides to go for the 50s, who decides to go for the risky plays and gets the downs thanks to ping and patience. So um, Crazy F is the final survivor standing now, after a crazy, crazy turn of events of what I would believe is extremely favorable for Bleedout because there's still 5 gens left here, Gohan, and I don't think I don't think JD wants to let any of them pop.
Indeed, we do, but we do see Crazy is at main as well. But as I want to point out, there has been a player on TikTok that has just been going around playing Bubble with the iridescent add-on that gives you the recharge after getting a target. He's just been mowing down and saying Bubble goes where Bubble pleases, and JD is doing exactly that. Bubble goes where Bubble pleases, and
Oh
he
my
does get
god.
the 4K 5. That is unheard of. I don't think we've ever seen this so far in this season. I don't think we've seen a single 4K 5, especially on Bubble of all
Killer.
killers. This is immaculate. So this is pretty much just a done deal for Bleedouts to get the dub because I don't know if they can, but maybe they can. Maybe Clown Crew can pull something out and get the Tycon, but it's looking kind of grim because they really all they have to do is pop one gen, and I don't see Bleedout at least popping a singular gen. So well played to both sides, but unfortunately, it doesn't. I don't think it actually changes who goes through. I might just quickly do like the hypothetical if I put it in, and I'm going to see if it does change anything. But as we just try to find out where our next survivors are, we are going to just see him find it. And okay, I can confirm, even if they do get the 2-0, unfortunately, Bleed Out still don't go through because they have lost 2 and 1-2. So unfortunately, they're not going to be able to go into the playoffs, but well played for them for getting a solid two, at least a solid third place win. Harden being fourth and Clown Crew, unfortunately, being fifth. So well played to everyone in Group A. And we're actually very close to finishing up all the brackets. So eventually, everyone will be able to take a look, see, and look at who's going through into the grand finals or playoffs. We will have Sanders versus Synergy next, and that will be all she wrote. We will be right back after a short intermission. Okay, so it looks like even though I asked Harvey to intro us in, it looks like he is gone yet again. I think his laptop has black or grey screened again, like it did before earlier when I did intro us into the Dredge set. But we are going to be coming in into the Clowns Cannibal side with, I don't know how to say this name. I am probably going to butcher it, so I'm just gonna I don't even want to say it because I feel like I'm going to butcher it. But no, we actually have Taka, so someone didn't change what it was. So at least now I won't butcher a name. So thankfully, we are going to be going in with Taka in here. It isn't going to be the person I was going to probably butcher the name of, but it's going to be a very tall order for Taka here, having to get a 4K 5 Tycon, and all that Bleedouts have to do is get a singular gen. Um, And honestly, I don't see a world where they don't pop at least one singular gen. So we are going to be running around, and everyone's running around like headless chickens here. No one knows who's going to actually be first chase, or no one knows where they're actually going to be going. But we do have the first chase onto LV Duck here. We are going to be breaking the pallet at 3, going to be running over towards the 2 side of the map. So this is going to be a tall order for Taka, especially with how these survivors are already playing this early game. And I believe Tavi is back. So welcome back, Tavi.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Gohan, about that. I was creating the clip of the JD, the Bubba thing on Jake, the flick that started it all, and I didn't have my audio high enough on Discord apparently. So anyway, we're in the match now, so I shouldn't be talking about that. But Taka's already off to a bit of a slow start. I would mention a bit because technically this is an unsafe palette that OV Duck is playing around. Taka goes for the flick, double flick to go with that, but that's unfortunately the missed third charge, I believe, on the cannibal set. And they're going for the flick again. I respect this. They need to try and get something done here on the cannibal because otherwise this set is just done and dusted with only one gen. That's how you get a flick on LV Duck, and that is a very, very nice way to start off the first set. Go on. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough again. He still needs a miracle to stop
I was gonna
pretty much
say,
all the
yeah.
gens from popping.
I was gonna say, if anything, they should just guys. We shouldn't be taking body blocks. We don't need to take body blocks. Oh no. Yeah, they
Wait,
should have
what?
just committed. You guys should have just committed that Janet Gallows. There is no reason to be taking body blocks here because now he can snowball this. It could snowball this into a Tycon, and we do see Six Arts trying to get around it. We do see that he doesn't get mind game, so he's able to make this pallet here. But we do know that another gen is being worked on here at 7 as well. So this is looking kind of grim now, because at first it was looking like it was going to be a win for Bleedouts, but now I'm not so sure, because they're not playing optimally. I think they're just being a little silly here, considering their win con is just 1 gen. And there we go. At least someone had a brain and just decided to commit a gen and stick to it. But we do see that Hearts is going to go down here at the pallet. We do see 7 pop with it as well, but it was the generator at 6 that was the one to be popping, and I don't think you even need to bother picking up LV Duck because he's going to be out even if you pick him up. But we do see the reset happening on to 6 as well, because I do believe they were there as well, and I don't think he even makes space. Yeah, there it is. That instantly out. Okay, so this is going to be kind of rough for Taka. We do see the reset happening on to 6 Hearts, and they are going to make it. He is going to run over towards main as well. Isn't going to get mind game here. It's just going to keep holding W, but he's going to make the window vault. Unfortunately, not going to be making it back, but Taka going for a swing and a miss. This is very unfortunate, but Taka is going to try and swing here as well, and he does get the hit. Unfortunately, only was a medium vault as well. So considering this is pretty much GG, so yeah, well played to Bleedout. That just confirms it. Puts the coffin, basically put the nail in the coffin there, but we are going to obviously continue it out because this is going to be sportsmanship. They are going to be playing out. We aren't going to be just leaving because we are licking the wounds, but we keep going, and unfortunately, another body block is enough to stop Hearts from going into basement. So we keep going, and Tavi, this is looking quite rough for Taka.
Yeah, it's despite that really nice early down. Bleedout, I think they did have like a specific strategy in mind, and that's just to prevent the basement hook at all costs because that is pretty much like the one thing which you want to always avoid. Either a basement hook, of course, or like a hook in the deep area. Even like the deep area of like this 3 gen of 7. Like you can still potentially get the edge gens done, but basement there's like absolutely no way you're getting the survivor out unless the killer makes a mistake. So I guess that was the strategy, and it has worked so far. Taka just did not decide to go for the safer hooks, and we just see, I guess, like everyone reset, and no one's been hooked with 3 gens remaining, which is, as you were saying, more than sufficient enough to win. Even if all the survivors disconnected, that would still be a victory for Bleedout. But Jazz, oh my, you're trusting your ping a little bit too much for Smash It, and you're going down and probably getting put into basement here. So it could be a bit of trouble because I don't think anyone is close around for the body block hits. So I think Jazz is just going to be safely secured in the basement as Taka is surely happy about this. Unfortunately, this basement hook comes in a bit too late, to say the least. But at least it's still there, and they can try and secure this small little bit of generator setup here on this bottom side around basement, which actually the survivors have been working a little bit. So it's not going to be entirely too easy for Baba to get a free camp out into this basement without losing all the generators, I think.
Yeah, especially when we see LV Duck and Hearts both working a generator as well. The only generator that has been really progressed furthermore, it was Gallows. We do have main being worked on. I believe that was two that Duck was working on. Either two or four. Don't know which one exactly, but if it was four, possibly. But we will just have to wait until that gen pops to see which one. But yeah, Taka is just probably just happy to camp this out, get Jazz dead, and probably just maybe even get a 4K zero if he can possibly do that. But it's looking like there probably are going to be a lot of outs in this match. But we will be able to go into Synergy versus Sadness, and I will just get those sets up for you real quick while we wait for this to progress. And we do see main being popped as well, but we have for Synergy versus Sadness, we have Unknown first being picked by Synergy, so we are going to be going to Ormond Lake Mine. A lot of people love that map, or love the killer at least, so that's good to see that we have done well with at least the map choice, because it's been quite a fun map, I would say, because of all the snipes and stuff people can do. But then we are going to follow that up with a Blight on Gas Haven. Sadness is going to be the one that picked that, so we are going to be going to that as well. Blight, another killer that has been heavily picked as well between pretty much all of the groups. And then we have, last but not least, Hillbilly on Blood Lodge. So that's going to be quite interesting to see. And I do have a tally that I've finally decided to actually make, so I can see how many people have picked what killer. And surprisingly, Group D is actually the main group that has decided to pick Blight just in general. We have 6 picks with just a normal killer set, and then only 1 pick was for a tiebreaker. So Group D really love the Blight as their killer, but we do have Taka is still trying to find out where that next survivor is for his chase and just camping out Jazz.
Yeah, and I think the camp's going to be successful, but with that deadlock coming in, that's pretty indicative that the generator is 99. That's going to be the final generator done of the trial, and we can see Outsy on the Bubba set. By the way, pretty noteworthy. I believe this is the first time this season that Bubba has been outed. Despite there being not that many sets, it's still definitely a good achievement to do so. But I guess that all kind of like uh, trickled down from that first incident, and then Nia gets off pretty much with the body blocks, so they can't get hooked. And then similarly, second survivor, I think it was Hearts, gets down, and then they also get off with the body block. Secures enough time for the gate to be open, and secures a 3-stage performance. I think they want to get out of the door. So yeah, in terms of the next series though, I personally did witness a little bit more than potentially use out there have, and I saw the renewal and gospel back and forth tennis.